Hi, food friends. It's Kevin.
I'm Ralph.
And here we are. It's a rainy, kind of cold November Sunday, and it is a perfect day for a nice, hot casserole. And that's what we're going to do. And today we're going to make sort of a variation on something called a King Ranch casserole. So King Ranch is someplace in Texas, and somebody there made a casserole with chicken and tortillas and cheese and Rotel tomatoes. If you don't know what Rotel tomatoes are, they're basically diced tomatoes with green chilies in them, and put them all together. And so that's what we're going to do. This is also, like I said, a great way to stretch out some chicken if you have some left over. So maybe you have a rotisserie chicken from your local market. We're just coming off of Thanksgiving, and we don't have any leftovers because we ate everything, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
But you could use leftover turkey here as an example. But so we don't, and I don't have a rotisserie chicken, but so here are leg quarters. These are great, inexpensive pieces of chicken. They're wonderful dark meat. This whole thing, $1.86. Okay, for 1, 2, looks like 4. So there's 8 pieces of chicken here.
We visited the Honeybee Market, which is a great little
Yeah.
Mexican market I've been going to since I was a child.
In our Mexican part of Detroit here. So we've got this chicken. Oh, there's 5 here. We're going to put them all in a pot. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to poach this.
This might seem like a dumb question, but with chicken taken right out of the package like that, it can go right into the pot. You don't need to rinse it or anything like that.
No, because actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to submerge it in water.
And then boil it?
Yeah, I mean, some people rinse chicken. I guess it depends what you're doing with it. But for the purpose of our exercise here, you want water to cover. And this chicken will poach in about 25 minutes or so. And poaching is just basically simmering in liquid. But of course, as you can imagine, it means that you're not going to dry anything out. There we go. What I like to do is you could put some seasoning in here, some salt, some pepper. But because I actually want some chicken broth, what I'm going to do is I'm throwing a couple of
bouillon cubes.
Yes, chicken bouillon cubes in with our chicken here. And so we're going to have the flavor that comes from the chicken, and then this will kind of amp it up.
Enhanced by the little cubes.
Exactly.
All right.
So we're going to get this going, and then we're going to come back and start sautéing our vegetables in just a second. So it's our version of King Ranch casserole right here in Ralph's Mexican kitchen. See you in a minute. I want to saute up the vegetables. So here's what we had. A really large white onion. You could also use like a Spanish onion. This is 1 pretty good sized green bell pepper, and then 2 minced cloves of garlic. I put a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil. We turn this down. See, I'm used to cooking with electric, and you've got a gas stove. But
sorry,
that's all right. No. I actually like being able to use both. You know, some people are right-handed and left-handed. I think it's like that when it comes to cooking. So, thank you.
That's my hand in the frame.
Yes, and I appreciate that. We're gonna get these vegetables. We just want them softened, so we're going to sweat them out a little bit, get them softened up in a nice little saute. So the ingredients of the casserole is, we're going to have some shredded chicken that we're going to, pull off the bones once it's poached. We have garlic, green pepper, onion. We put in pinto beans. So we've got a large can of pintos here. We'll drain those. And then, of course, it's a casserole. We've got to have our canned soups, our best friends. So we've got a cream of mushroom and a cream of chicken. And then, of course, the rotels. We got some beautiful fresh chili powder from the Mexican store, the supermercado, yesterday. And then we have corn tortilla. You could use flour. We prefer corn. And we're going to actually cut these up. So what you're going to have is you're going to have layers of tortilla and then this wonderful chicken vegetable mixture, beans, cheese, and then you're going to do that over and over again. Almost as if you were making like a lasagna. And we've got a nice big block of Munster cheese, also from the Mexican store.
That's good mountain cheese.
It is good mountain cheese.
What you doing, Kevin?
Okay, so we have been pulling our chicken apart here. This chicken poached for about 20, 25 minutes. And again, we had 5 leg quarters, which are the drumsticks and the thighs attached, that we got on sale, and we're using this for our chicken, for our casserole, if I can get it in the bowl here. So we've got probably about 2.5 cups of shredded chicken there. Now remember our vegetables. This is green pepper, a nice white onion, and garlic, which we sautéed
And seasoned a bit.
and seasoned with salt and pepper. Just used a little bit of vegetable oil. I'm going to add this to our chicken. So we're kind of assembling here our main
Layer.
mix. Oh, it smells good already. Okay, so we've got our chicken, we've got our vegetables. Now, let me grab a spatula here. We're going to add, again, our cream of mushroom soup.
What'd you call that earlier? Casserole's friend or something?
It is. Soups are, and a lot of people, they just hate the idea of using canned soup.
Turn their nose up at it?
Yeah, I mean, could you use something else? Yeah, I guess you could make a homemade gravy if you wanted to take...
If you had the time and you wanted to spend hours making your own homemade gravy or homemade mushroom soup, but whose mom didn't use mushroom soup?
Exactly. And what I'm going to do actually is, remember, this is the liquid that the chicken poached in. I'm going to put a little of that, about a half or so, in the can, and we're going to swish that around.
Your mama would be so proud.
Okay. And this is going to do 2 things. One, it's going to help dilute our...
Not waste any of the
soup, and it's going to add a wonderful
extra chicken
flavor. So, cream of chicken soup.
Wait a
in
second.
we go.
Let me see that again. It's too bright.
Cream of chicken soup. In we go. So that's 1 can of cream of mushroom, 1 can of cream of chicken. I like how you thought about this, Ralph, is almost like a Mexican or Tex-Mex lasagna. You can really think of it that way.
Tex-Mex lasagna.
I love... I'm going to do the same for this can. I'm going to take some
rinse.
of this. Yep. And I love the music you're playing.
Yeah, it's an old record I've had for a long time by Miguelito Valdez.
Miguelito. What is
It's
that?
Latin rhythms. It means Michael.
Michael.
In fact, I believe my brother Michael was named after him.
Really? Oh, your parents must have really liked this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now we're going to take our Rotel tomatoes. This is real Texas there. Okay, with green chilies.
So one thing I have to ask you: you rinsed out the cans with the broth.
Right.
Do the folks listening and watching need to know how much liquid you've added in that? Is it a full can or just
no, half a
rinse?
can.
So total half a can.
So a half a can each.
Oh, half a can each.
Right.
Okay.
So now we're going to get our seasoning. So here's this wonderful chili powder we got at the Mexican market.
The honeybee.
Oh my God, does this smell good? I'm going to put a good tablespoon of that in here. Okay. And then we're also going to include some ground cumin.
Fresh ground cumin.
Yeah. Oh, does that smell good? And we're going to put in a good teaspoon of ground cumin. So these are kind of somewhat heaping spoons. But if we like it, we like the seasoning. I'm also going to get some pepper here.
We're not cooking this for a hospital lunch.
Exactly.
We're cooking this for people who have good
taste buds.
And good taste buds. Exactly.
I'm going to put a little pepper. Now, what I'm not putting in is any salt. And here's why. A lot of salt in those soups. So, now, we are going to put all this together.
So right there you've got your chicken, your soup, your broth, your seasonings.
It almost looks like a chicken chili.
Your green peppers, your onions, your garlic. Yeah, it's starting to get a nice red coloration going.
Right.
From the chili powder.
Okay. So, it's beautiful color.
You could probably even add more color by using different colored peppers too, if you want.
Yes, you could. You could, we used the green sweet bell pepper. All right, I'm going to get the tortillas ready. So again, we're using corn tortillas. You could use flour if you want, but we like the taste of corn and the texture of the corn tortillas, and these are nice and fresh.
They're right there from a tortilla factory right here in Detroit on Bagley called La Hala CNC.
I'm going to actually, you can either tear these or cut them with a knife. I'm going to just put a knife through them and make strips, and we're going to layer them down, okay? So I'm going to get the tortillas ready, and we'll be right back. We've got our components here. So see what I did with the tortillas? Just cut them with a knife into strips. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a 9x13 casserole, which I sprayed with non-stick spray, and we're just going to put our tortillas on the bottom. Now I cut about 12 of them. See if those will be enough, hopefully. So it's not going to be, you're not going to get every square inch, but the idea is you just want to kind of create a floor. Okay? Then we take some of our mix here.
Our Mexi mix.
Yeah. Okay. And we're going to spread that over our tortillas.
Tortillas.
Our chicken. Okay. Then, because we like to use them, these are pinto beans. Now, we just used a large can. I rinsed them. They kind of are in that brine. And we're going to put some beans on there. And then...
layer of beans. Okay. And as I was saying before to Kevin, this is a step saver, a can of pinto beans. But if you happen to have, your own homemade beans that you cooked laying around, those are good to use as well.
By all means, yes. Ralph makes beans a lot, and they're delicious.
Thank you, sir.
So, okay, now we're going to put a little of this cheese. You could use any kind of cheese that you want. They make like a Mexican blend cheese out there. If that appeals to you, you can use that.
Look how nice that looks.
Isn't that pretty? So we're going to take our tortillas here.
So the tortillas, as you said, just are almost randomly placed, but to give it good coverage. But it's not like you have to be real meticulous.
No, it just...
Is that the final layer, though?
Well, we'll see. We'll see how much we have here. Probably. Yes. So we're going to use the rest of our filling. Okay. Oh, I'm smelling that chili powder and
all the flavors
and the peppers and the onions. Okay, so
spread that. Give that a good spread.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the chicken that we used after you got it off the bone, did you shred it or just kind of left it as it was?
I just kind of however it came off the bone.
Okay, so it could be finer if you wanted to shred it.
Right. Okay, we're gonna put on our beans.
And then another layer of Munster cheese.
Yep. I've got a few of these left over. I could actually. Let's use them up. We're going to put them just sort of on top. I'm going to tuck them in a little bit. Right? We don't like to waste anything. Now we take our cheese here.
So the last step is always the cheese?
Yes. Now the oven has been heated, or preheated I should say, to 350 degrees. And we're going to be right back and get it in the oven, okay? So I'm just going to finish putting the cheese on, and then we'll get this baby in the oven.
Sounds good.
Be right back. Okay, our timer went off, and it's been 25 minutes. We are going to take it out. Oh, it smells good. It's bubbling.
Look at that cheese, the way it's
there it is.
Got a nice little crust on it.
Isn't that beautiful?
The tortilla
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to just let it rest for maybe about 5-10 minutes or so. And then we'll come back and we'll get into it.
All right, sounds good. We'll be right back. Okay, we're ready.
So it is our Tex-Mex meal here. We let it cool stand for about 10 minutes or so. And we are going to
give it the old taste test.
Yep, exactly. Can I cut into this here?
We were saying that if you wanted to make it more Mex than Tex, you could, add more Mexican spices, traditional spices, maybe some jalapenos, maybe some avocado, some chopped onion, things like
olives. And then if you wanted to make it more Tex,
then you could add like barbecue and hot dogs. No, I don't know. Maybe just whatever is already there actually makes it more Tex. But the sour cream is a nice addition. This is crema from the Mexican store also.
So this is really, I love this because it's really a meal in one. And I'm sorry I made a mess on the plate, but we get some of this crema. There you go.
Doesn't that look good? You can have this with some horchata or some nice red wine like we've got.
Sangria. And so there it is.
We hope you get the chance to make it, and as we said, modify it to your own tastes or likes, and we're going to enjoy it and let you know how it comes out on the blog.
Absolutely. So thanks for being a part of this one. We'll see you next time.
Bye now.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.